Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're going to be showing you guys something even more cooler. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of these. We'll close them off and I'm going to create a new class file. And I'll probably name it, well today what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to name this example demo. Okay, because I'm not good with names, okay. Alright, I'm going to finish this. Alright, cool. So we generate public class header and a main method. Okay, so what I want to show you guys today is what is called a scanner. Okay, so basically a scanner is something that allows you to enter in input into the Java program. For example, let's say if I wanted to type stuff in and then have it printed to console. In this case, we would need a scanner to store whatever input we want inside a variable type, right? And so, for example, if I want to store, my name or, my age, I would have to, store them into, for example, a string or an integer respectively, right? So let's go ahead and let's try it out. So before we even try to use the scanner, we have to import the scanner, right? And in order to do that, we just go all the way on the top before the public class. These are usually where all your import statements go, and I'm going to leave a comment, right? Import statements always go on the top before the class header. I want you guys to get used to commenting because it just makes things much more organized. Okay, so import java.util.scanner, okay, and semicolon, and then we're done. Okay, I'm going to save that. So basically what we just did was we imported the scanner object or the scanner class, right? Now we can actually instantiate this object. We can instantiate the class. We can make an object out of it. To do that, what we have to do is we write scanner, right? And now we can name it whatever we want. I usually name mine key or keyboard, but key is shorter. And now we have to assign it. We have to basically create the actual scanner because this is just declaring it. But we actually have to create it, right, using the new keyword, and then we stored it inside the key variable, right? So new scanner, parentheses, system dot input goes inside the parentheses, and then we're done. Okay. There. Now we've imported our scanner, and we've created an object of the scanner type. All right. And now we're done. So now we can actually use the scanner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare a couple of variables. I'll name it string first name and then int age. So basically I want two variables that will hold my first name and my age, but I'm going to let the user input whatever they want. And a good program usually prompts the user on what they should do, because if you just have a text box just blank, and they're not going to know what to enter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and print out a statement that tells the user, in this case us, to write our first name. Enter your first name. Okay, and then now over here I'm going to take the first name variable that I declared earlier, and I'm going to assign it the value of the keyboard input. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the key, or the name of our object. I'm going to use a method called nextLine. Okay, and the reason why I'm using .nextLine is because the first name is a string variable, so we have to use .nextLine method. Okay, so there, now we can save this and we can compile it, or we can run the program, and now we can actually type stuff. So I can enter my first name, and we're done. So now during that program, whatever I entered in for the first name, right, is stored inside this variable. Okay, so I'm going to actually do one more. Print. I'm gonna have us prompt ourselves to enter our age. So okay, and now I'm gonna take the age variable, right? And this time I'm gonna use a method called nextInt. Okay, and what this does is it allows us to enter the next integer, right? And you can kind of see the pattern here. For example, if you had a variable of a double or float or byte or etc. type, right? You can just use the name of your object dot next whatever, right? Next double, next byte, next short, next float, next long, etc. Right? So you kind of get the point. So now I'm going to go ahead and print out what I just wrote. And I'm going to use a little bit of string concatenation. So name, first name, age, and we're done. And we can save this and compile it. Enter your first name. My name is Anson. Enter your age, 19. Name Anson, age 19. I also want to show you guys one more thing real quick. These are what they call escape sequences. So let's say, for example, rather than just because like let's say I wanted to print my name and age on two separate lines, right? There are two ways I can do this. I can either just I can just leave it like this, right? And I can do system dot out dot print. I can write another print line method on the next line, right? And then I can write age and then concatenate the age variable, and then it'll print on two separate lines, right? Whoops, let me actually fix that. So and this will print on two separate lines, right? But let's say I didn't want to do it that way. I wanted to do it a different way. Well, luckily we have escape sequences. So the way they work is, let's say for example, let's say we see name, first name. This is going to be on one line, right? And age is also going to be on the same line. But let's say starting from age, I want it to be on the second line, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an escape sequence, and to do that you do a backward slash. And if you want, and there are multiple escape sequences, I'm just only going to introduce two. So you do backward slash and then you do n, and what that does is it just advances the cursor right at this point, right at this index. It advances the next cursor immediately to the next line. So if I save this and I run it, and I enter our information, you can see that this is now on two separate lines, right? And now what if we want to, give like an indentation, right? Let's say, I wanted to format it really nice. So we can probably do something like, okay, well, first, let me actually just show you guys what I'm going to do. So let's say information, okay? And if I concatenate this and if I run this, right, it will print all of this out on the same line. Like it'll print information out on the same line as name. But I want to actually make this, I want to actually advance the next cursor. So what I'll do is I'll do a new line on there, right? And I want to indent it. So what's going to happen is if I show you guys, let me just show you. So I want these two lines to be indented so it just looks better. To do that, you go to where you want it to start being indented. So in this case, it's right over here. So and you do backward slash R, or actually I'm sorry, backward slash T. I'm sorry. And then you want to do the same thing for age 2. Backward slash T. And what this will do is it will basically tab it. The T stands for tab, right? It will basically indent it, right? And you can press save. And look what happens. It basically formats everything the right way that we want to using escape sequences. Okay, so hopefully this video helped you guys out, and hopefully you guys have a good understanding of how scanners work. I definitely do recommend practicing it just to get used to it. There are many things you can do with the scanner, so definitely do practice it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.